You can keep your face almost the same and still watch social doors open faster. Picture a crowded coffee bar where two women order the same drink and wait beneath the same menu board. One wears a slick bun, soft gold hoops, neat brows, and skin that looks hydrated rather than painted. The other wears colorful liner, a bolder outfit, and details that signal playful experimentation from across the room. Before either person speaks, strangers read one as dependable and the other as less predictable under pressure. That split influences hiring impressions, dating choices, and who gets trusted with responsibility when the stakes feel high. By the end, you will see why this look spreads so quickly and why it carries social power beyond beauty. People describe the clean girl look as simple, but simple is mostly the final impression. The style usually combines tidy hair, minimal makeup, neutral tones, and accessories that whisper instead of shout. It looks effortless to viewers, yet it often requires planning, maintenance, and repeated practice to sustain. The best metaphor is a passport stamp that compresses many assumptions into one tiny visual mark. A passport stamp looks small, but it signals clearance and smooth movement through guarded checkpoints. This look works similarly in social spaces where strangers must judge quickly with very little information. The first engine behind the trend is basic psychology, and it is stronger than most people admit. Across many experiments, first impressions form quickly and spill into judgments that should stay separate. When someone appears coordinated and polished, observers often infer discipline, competence, and emotional stability without direct evidence. Researchers call this spillover the halo effect, and it appears in schools, offices, and online spaces. In plain terms, tidy grooming can trigger extra positive traits that may not be true. Keep that mechanism in mind, because the next layer explains why this aesthetic accelerated instead of fading. The second engine is platform design, which rewards visuals that read clearly in a split second. Short clips move fast, attention is scarce, and styles that survive compression get more consistent engagement. High-drama makeup can look stunning in person, yet tiny phone frames sometimes flatten details and blur intention. Clean textures, neutral colors, and simple silhouettes stay legible even when lighting is harsh and scrolling is rushed. Algorithms do not need a theory about culture to amplify this pattern at enormous scale. They simply reward content that performs, and performance often means immediate readability in real behavior. A broader social mood also helped, because trend explosions rarely come from platform mechanics alone. During uncertain periods, people gravitate toward cues that suggest order, predictability, and self-control. When life feels noisy, polished presentation can signal calm competence before any conversation starts. Employers, clients, and peers under stress may prefer aesthetics that reduce perceived interpersonal risk. The clean girl look fits that demand because it communicates restraint without requiring explanation. The passport stamp says this person understands the rules, so interactions feel smoother and safer. Try this exercise while the idea is still fresh and emotionally active in your mind. Think of 3 creators you would describe as polished, then notice which extra traits you assign automatically. Many people attach words like organized, healthy, focused, and trustworthy before checking behavioral evidence. Then ask yourself what facts you used besides appearance, and whether those facts were actually strong. Most viewers discover that visual cues did most of the judging, while evidence arrived later as confirmation. That does not make you shallow, yet it does reveal how quickly a shortcut can become a gate. Once that gate appears, access becomes uneven, even when the look is marketed as universal. Polished minimalism often depends on skincare consistency, hair maintenance, product knowledge, and routine repetition. Those requirements tie directly to money, schedule flexibility, skin history, hair texture, and local norms. A style described as natural can involve significant labor that disappears in the final polished image. That disappearing labor matters because invisible effort gets misread as innate character instead of managed strategy. When effort looks effortless, observers treat the result as identity rather than as performance under pressure. Picture one moment from a first-week internship that makes this dynamic feel concrete and emotional. A young analyst named Nadia arrives Monday in her usual style with bright eyeliner and expressive clothes. Nobody insults her directly, yet she gets fewer client-facing tasks than another intern with similar output. By midweek, she switches to slick hair, neutral makeup, and small jewelry that matches office expectations. Her manager suddenly calls her polished and invites her into a high-visibility presentation. Nadia did not gain new competence in 2 days, and her analytical work barely changed. She simply matched the stamp the room already trusted, and the room rewarded that stamp first. Evidence from bias research points in the same direction across professional and educational settings. Studies that hold performance constant still find appearance cues shifting perceived competence, warmth, and reliability. Hiring experiments repeatedly show presentation details, nudging interviewer judgments before deeper evaluation is complete. Classroom perception studies also suggest grooming cues can be overread as diligence and seriousness. The clean girl look did not create this bias, but it became an efficient delivery system for it. Another twist explains why the look feels natural while still functioning like strong social theater. Full glam usually announces effort, so viewers frame it as artistry and evaluate visible technique. Clean minimalism hides effort, so viewers often frame it as personality and evaluate assumed character. When effort is visible, people say she worked hard on styling choices for this setting. When effort is concealed, people say she is naturally put together and probably organized in life. One reading treats beauty as skill, while the other treats beauty as moral evidence. That moral reading gives the passport stamp extra power because character judgments travel farther than style opinions. Run a second exercise later by scrolling your saved images and separating aspirational looks from creative looks. Many people notice aspirational folders lean clean, restrained, and socially safe in professional contexts. Creative folders often lean dramatic, high contrast, and intentionally disruptive to familiar expectations. That split reveals how the brain maps safety against novelty when consequences feel immediate. Safety usually wins in institutions, so safety gets copied, taught, and monetized at surprising speed. Brands package the routine into product stacks, and creators teach the sequence in repeatable clips. Class signaling adds one more layer, because restraint itself can work as status display. Subtle jewelry, polished basics, and consistent skin maintenance can imply stable routines and reliable resources. Viewers may read those cues as emotional maturity, even when resources do much of the lifting. Sociologists describe this pattern as distinction through understatement, where quiet presentation signals institutional fluency. Right now, many spaces reward the quieter signal because it appears calm, expensive, and low friction. None of this means rejecting the look or shaming people who genuinely enjoy wearing it. Signals are tools, and tools can protect people in environments that punish visible difference. For many women and femmes, polished minimalism reduces friction, lowers harassment risk, and creates practical confidence. Those benefits are real, especially where workplaces still police presentation with uneven standards. The deeper problem is checkpoint culture that treats one stamp as neutral and other stamps as suspect. If you lead teams, notice when words like polished or professional hide narrow beauty preferences. Return to that coffee bar where two people still wait for their names near the counter. Nothing essential about either person has changed, yet one style still receives smoother treatment. The clean girl look exploded because it became a friction-reducing social passport in a speed-obsessed culture. It promised control during uncertainty, performed well on camera, and translated into repeatable routines. Once you see the stamp clearly, you can use it strategically without mistaking it for moral truth. Read the person behind the polish because a character deserves more than a glance and a